Alright, for anyone watching as a VOD, we are getting started with Batman, the Telltale series, Episode 1. This is the first time I've streamed in quite a while, so we'll see if anyone shows up to watch, and I'm going to be pretty rusty on this one. Again, I haven't streamed in a while, but we're going to try and make this a weekly thing. 10 episodes of this game, so we're going to try to hit all 10 in the next 10 weeks. So I'm going to get started here in just a minute. I'm just going to get the word out that I am streaming so that people can join in if they'd like to, and we can chat while I play. But yeah, we'll just get it going in about 5 minutes here. Alright, we got 2 people in here. Thank you guys for joining. I'm just going to double check and make sure my audio sounds good on my end, and then keep me updated as we get going. Let me know if I need to turn up my volume or anything. Alright, we're going to go ahead and get started. Let's go red. We're going to go full renegade on this one. I've always tried to play this as like a nice Batman, so let's do it as the biggest dick that we can possibly be. Man, these loading screens. I'd forgotten. I actually haven't played this one in quite a while. And that's one thing I do remember. I remember, especially in this first season, those loading screens are just egregiously long.
What are you...
Here we go, earning our M rating already. Let's go. I do remember back in 2016, this game did feel a little bit edgy, just because it did feel like the first game that was in the Batman video game series that was like intentionally going for an M rating.
Get it open. On it. You think he's gonna show? We bring the whole goddamn place down. Stay focused. We'll be out of here before anyone can stop us.
Here we go. How you doing, Joel? Thanks for stopping by. I know that you said on Twitter that you were working, so I appreciate you swinging by to say hey.
Oh, Christ.
Move in.
Second floor. I'm going in.
Hey! Wait! Wait for backup!
Don't need it.
Take the stairs.
I heard stories, you know. Sent 3 home in an ambulance. The rest in body bags.
No wonder the cops want him dead.
Hey, you ever seen him?
Yeah, Gotham Zoo. With all the other flying animals.
Alright, here we go. This is a very nostalgic experience for me. I still remember, like, fresh off Arkham Knight, like, just being so beyond excited to have another Batman story to play through.
Bruce, you can't keep doing this.
This is such a good intro.
I have to. No one else will.
Every drop of blood, everything you've sacrificed. The city is safer now. But it's made you a target. And people will keep you in the crosshairs.
Criminals in this city. They need something to fear.
Shit! The hell did he go? Whatever got in, don't let it
Yeah,
get
I
out.
agree, Joel. We did just get banger after banger. Like, this was like, yeah, such a good era for Batman. And now, it's not really a good era for any DC character. Hopefully Superman with the new movie.
What was that?
Feels very
back. Circle
Batman
up.
Begins-esque to me, like at the shipping yard where he's taking out all the thugs for the first time.
What the hell is this?
Yeah, I haven't actually had an opportunity to play Arkham Shadow yet. I watched like the whole playthrough on YouTube, and yeah, I mean, after Suicide Squad and even Gotham Knights, which I liked okay but didn't love, it's like getting stories like this, you know? So hopefully Rocksteady's new Batman game is good. I'm gonna do a video on that tomorrow, like 3 possible games they could make in the Arkhamverse next.
I know you're trying to
But
create
yeah,
a
I'd like
myth,
to see way more characters
but
get
be careful
this
you
kind of
don't
treatment
turn into
too.
a monster.
Sometimes you need a monster.
Come on! Come on! Come on!
Oh, did I miss the... I swear I did it, but... I do like kind of the fake video game features of this game, like the fact that all of these combat sequences are literally just quick time events, but they have this like combo in the bottom that pretends like it's doing a damn thing. It's kind of funny. There we go. Combo move. It's like an Injustice finisher. Now I'm like purposely not hitting some of the prompts just to see if it even like penalizes me for it at all.
Didn't your mother teach you to knock? Behind you, big boy.
Can we talk about how solid like all the character designs in these games are? Like they just absolutely nailed it. And I will say, a lot of this fight choreography and like cinematography within the game holds up better than I remembered it being. It does look like a full-on animated movie. That's pretty impressive.
be intimidating, you're succeeding. Criminals are becoming afraid of you, so are the police.
It's a scare tactic, Al. Just a performance.
It was such a cool idea to have, like, Bruce and Batman be in the introduction. Like, you don't just show one or the other. Like, you let us see both sides of it.
So far. That doesn't belong to you.
Also, for anyone who wasn't here earlier, I'm playing it as, like,
You
full-on
broke the
Renegade
law.
Batman.
Here
We're gonna
I
be,
am.
yeah,
Cut the
biggest
shit.
dick we can possibly be in this game.
Don't tell me that's
We're gonna
why you
piss
do
off
all
as many
this.
people as we can.
Squeeze into a suit, tie on a cape. Most people dressed up like that end up in Arkham.
I do this for the thrill of it.
I'll show you a thrill. Gotta admit it, though. You give a good chase. One day you might actually catch me.
Tonight.
Don't you know not to corner a wild animal? It's dangerous.
Then let's put you in a cage.
Bring it, Bat.
I think these are each about 2 hours long, and that'll be perfect for the time I have available to do these. I've also got to say, I really appreciate just how, like, I don't know, like, they did such a good job, because this like, changed up so much of the Batman lore over the course of the series. So to start it off with, like, the most Batman-esque thing, like, you're, you know, fighting criminals, and Catwoman happens to be there, and so then it ends in a big rooftop fight with her. Like, that all feels very true to, like, what you read in a comic book.
It's over.
It was
I
a
wouldn't
great,
be so sure.
absolutely phenomenal way to start stuff. I'll catch up on the chat in just a minute. This just isn't the best part to watch, just because there's so many prompts happening at once. Troy Baker does do a good Batman. I totally agree.
Who am now? Jesus! I got it!
Wait! Do not shoot!
But to be fair, I mean, Troy Baker generally turns in a good performance regardless of the game. Hey, Foe Inform, thanks for hopping in. Good to see ya. There it is, the fake video game mechanic again, where it tells you that you built up a combo. I don't know why I find that so funny. I just, you know, I think it's kind of funny that they were trying to act like it was gamier than it was. Like, really, it's a movie with quick time
A
events.
myth can't be killed. You, however, are flesh and blood.
God damn it! I said don't shoot!
No! Wait!
Yeah, so Eli, as far as Telltale, I'm with you. Like, Telltale was such a unique studio. I think they shut down just because of, like, the finances. I don't think they were doing well enough to continue justifying making these things. I think that the upper management went for quantity over quality approach. They were putting out a lot of stuff, but then the marketing wasn't quite where it needed to be, and I don't know. I think that this type of gameplay would work better in, like, an indie space these days. Like, I don't know that doing essentially a movie with QuickTime events work. Like, I don't know that that's what the, you know, AAA competition needs at this point. Like, and also, like, we're not quite there yet, but there were a number of things that were pretty outdated about these games as
Guess I was
well.
wrong about you catching me.
But we'll talk about
You
those
did
when
this for my sake. For yours.
we
Who
get
put
to
you up to this? Answer me or I let go.
But you won't. You're not that kind of guy. Bye, Bat.
I remember Season 2 had, like, a ton of agency. Like, there was a really branched narrative. I'm trying to remember. I think Season 1 got a little bit of flack for not really having that much, like, branching in the narrative. Like, it plays out pretty much the same no matter what you choose. And I've always played it as a very nice Batman, and this time I'm playing it as a very rude Batman. And so we'll see. You know, we'll see if that changes the character interactions very much.
Be your family legacy.
Well then. Time to save the city.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point, Phone Form, because a YouTuber play a Telltale game, and, you know, the gameplay isn't necessarily, like, fun enough to make you want to experience it.
Like myself is not used to such a ringing endorsement.
Especially if it's not actually as branched as they advertise. Like, I think Season 1 is just not a very branched game.
This city has burned with corruption and greed under Mayor Hill's authority. But I promise you, a vote for Harvey Dent is
I think they did some stuff with Netflix at one point. I'm trying to remember, like, did they do the Minecraft story mode or whatever on Netflix? I think that was, like, the perfect collaboration. Like, I really think Telltale should have been trying to make their system work in streaming services, because, like, imagine a new Netflix series for Batman that you get to control the outcome. That is where you would have seen a lot more success, I think.
Enjoy drinking my wine. It's worth more than most of you.
No, he's kidding, everyone. No wine is that expensive.
Eli says that some of the expensive licensing was a major cause to the financial troubles. Yeah, I mean, licensing a character like Batman is not cheap. And, you know, Batman is going to sell, but when you put him in a game like this, is it going to sell as good as Arkham Knight? Probably not, you know?
House to us. Now, I know this is the biggest mansion in Gotham, but I don't think you got lost on your way here. Where were you? I know you prefer the brooding billionaire angle, so the sooner we make nice with the donors, the sooner everyone will leave you alone.
Just wanted to make an entrance.
Congratulations, you almost missed it. You are a pillar of this city and my campaign. I need you here, tuxedoed and shaking hands. No one came here tonight to see me. They want to see the Bruce Wayne, am I right?
This dude only likes me for my money. Like, why are we even faking it here? He just needs my donor support.
Not a kidney stone. It's only a little FaceTime with potential donors. Your face, specifically, with a mouth that's saying, support.
He's not actually that bad. I'm just, like, trying to get in the mindset of, like, being the biggest dick that I can be in the game.
Facing your adoring public? This'll help you too, Bruce.
You know, the other thing about these games is that the Mass Effect games kind of do the same thing. They have, like, a choice system where you get to control how the characters act and what happens.
You sound like a used car salesman. No ideas?
But there's actual, like, combat and gameplay, too. And imagine doing a combined Batman game like that, where you get the Telltale-style cutscenes, where you get to kind of pick how the narrative plays out, but then you also get the free-flow combat or something.
From crime, where children can play in the streets again.
That's what I want too, Harvey, but you know how rough it is out there. We have to shake things up to make that happen.
Well, we can start with a few hands,
Also, I want to make it clear, though, that I'm not, like, trying to retroactively criticize this game. I'm not saying it's not Mass Effect, so it sucks. Like, what I'm saying is, I can see why maybe by 2016 this was a somewhat outdated model. But it really does hold up, especially with, like, the voice acting and the character designs.
Hello, Bruce.
Regina here is the chairwoman of Wayne Enterprises, and her husband
voted for Mayor Hill last time. I'll admit it, Mr. Wayne. I don't know Mr. Dent from a pothole on Main Street, but I trust your family. If you believe in Dent, we believe in you. After all, whoever you support is a reflection on you.
And we trust someone like you to lead this city to greatness.
Well, thank you. But we're all here tonight because we want to make a difference. And that's what it's going to take. Every single one of us. Not just me, not just Mr. Dent. Everyone.
Right. Of course.
Old families like ours should flock together, you know. Like birds.
You're preaching, dear.
No, it's true. The Waynes and Zellerbachs are reminders of the golden age of Gotham.
Oh, this city's luster faded years ago, Mr. Dent. Look at Gotham now.
Yeah,
Murder in the streets, corruption in City Hall.
So it's
a
actually my
kick
first
fat
time
freak
that
dealing
I've
out
played the Mass
vigilante
Effect games
justice
is like
it's
in the last
wild
month.
goddamn West.
And
Oh, Bobby, regarding Golden
yeah,
Age,
they
seems you're
live up
getting
to the hype.
cranky
I'd
in
say don't go in
yours.
with like
There's
crazy high
always
expectations. Like if
Forgive
you
me
go
for
in
being
with
blunt,
a
but one
just
man
reasonable,
can't save the
it's going to be like kind of a
And it's a
fun
dangerous
sci-fi
mentality to
branched
think so.
narrative.
That's how you get
It really can
creeps
blow
like
you away.
this Batman.
I'd say it all depends on the man. Sometimes you need a person who will go off script
Such as dressing up in a bat costume?
and taking out the criminals who ruin our city. Though the cape may be a bit much.
Don't worry, though. I am not doing this alone. With Bruce's help, we're replacing the dangerously unsecure Arkham Asylum with a state-of-the-art mental health facility.
What's
to
wrong
help
with Arkham
Gotham's
Asylum?
most at-risk
Come
individuals.
on, Harvey. I'm just
Will be
kidding.
dedicated to Thomas and Martha Wayne, in the hopes that their fate will never be repeated.
After all your parents did for this city. Oh, to be killed.
Okay,
in a
yeah,
botched
one more thing on the
robbery
Mass
in some
Effect games is
alleyway.
that they
It was
did that
terrible.
remastered collection of them,
Truly
and it's
terrible.
often on sale for like
Tragedy
$5,
like
and it's a
that at
steal.
such a
Like it
young
was,
age.
yeah. I
Must
was
have been
definitely very
crippling.
impressed with it.
If only that deranged man had gotten the right treatment, maybe. Well, I don't like to think about maybes.
My Bruce is still too
I'm sure you
damaged
don't
to
either.
talk about it. He doesn't want to talk about it yet.
It was a tragedy, truly. And I will fight from City Hall to make sure
I do think it's
nothing
cool
like
that
that ever
characters like
happens again.
that just kind of show
Enjoy
up
the rest of your
randomly
evening.
at the beginning here play a much larger role later.
Not how I pictured that going.
Right now, I'm picturing another drink.
I was kind of hoping you would mention
Actually,
my campaign.
I think every
Or at
major
least
player of this
my name.
season is in this room. Now that I
Now
think
I'm
about it, you
picturing
have
that
like the
drink,
little
too.
penguin cameo. You have Two-Face. You have
Oh, well,
Vicky
hello.
Vale right here. You have the
Harvey
chairwoman
Dent,
at Wayne Enterprises.
Gotham's
That's
next
pretty
mayor.
cool that they introduce all of
Get to know
the
you.
like
Vicky
major
Vale.
characters of the
Not
season
interested.
right here.
And reporter for the Gotham Gazette.
This is a private fundraiser, Miss Vale. No reporters allowed.
Well, you don't mind if I stay and ask a few questions, do you, Mr. Wayne?
Well, you can ask me whatever you want at the press conference tomorrow.
Tonight is strictly off the record. We can talk, but nothing gets written down.
I'm okay with that. I was just hoping to see what makes Bruce Wayne tick. This is quite the social event, Mr.
Oh,
Wayne.
come on now. It's so formal. Call me Bruce.
Well, Bruce, you've been going around pleasing everyone tonight. But how are you doing? You should enjoy your own party before all the champagne runs out.
Everyone loves the host. You're king for a day.
Just a day? I would have guessed Bruce Wayne has that feeling year-round.
Yeah, well, I take nights and weekends off.
Yeah,
Mr.
so I
Wayne,
actually,
you've got
personally,
something
I
on your
remember the Vicky Vale reveal not quite
is that
working
blood?
for me. So that's part of why I kind of wanted to reveal or revisit
like-
Spilled some wine.
some of
It'll
these
come out.
games.
Stick
Okay, it
to
would have been
clear
cool if you
alcohol,
had to
Bruce.
remember that
Never
lie
stay.
later. If when you say it's just wine or it's lipstick or I cut myself shaving, it would be cool if someone like called that up later,
Do
like,
excuse me,
and you had to
Master
remember
Bruce,
which
but,
lie you told.
Another
That would have been kind of
guest
cool.
has arrived.
I'm sure they'll find the bar.
You may want to greet this one personally, sir.
Is that Al Pacino?
Carmine
I'm
Falcone?
just kidding. Twitter joke.
Is
if,
the
if you
Dent
were there
campaign
for it.
soliciting votes from Gotham's biggest crime family?
Falcone's never been convicted of anything except being a businessman who loves this city. Excuse us, Miss Vale.
And what kind of business do you think he's in?
The one that controls enough votes to get me into City Hall. This is the necessary evil of politics, Bruce. It's in the service of a better Gotham, for all of us. Look, at least hear him out before you kick him out. Falcone requested to speak with you directly. Maybe
This
you
is
can
one of
change
the
your
few games where like the silent option actually makes sense. Like Batman is a brooding enough character that it would make
Normally,
sense
I
that he
wouldn't
just not
associate with a
answer
guy
some
like
things.
Falcone. But Gotham can't survive another term under Mayor Hill. It'll be all-out war in the streets. Word of warning, Bruce? Play nice.
Yeah, I'm not liking Harvey on this playthrough as much. Maybe it's because I went in with like the predetermination to play it as much of a dick as I can. But like, he's like literally involving corruption into his campaign.
Offends my eyes. Oh, man, all flash, no class.
Well, you couldn't afford it.
Yeah, right. Come on, Falcone. Thank you for welcoming me into your home.
Who does this guy think he is? We're not at Comic-Con. I'm not here to do a meet and greet.
Gentlemen, perhaps we'll...
I always forget the actor's name. I know he played Sully in the Uncharted games, but he's a great Falcone.
You should know, Mr. Falcone, my analysts say we're raising triple what Mayor Hill had...
What happened to the... See, this is one of the problems with this game. Like, it should not be this glitchy.
I saw plenty of skirts to keep you busy for a few minutes.
And yes, Joel, I agree. The Arkham Knight reveal was...
Sorry, Harvey.
Yeah, I'll get a drink.
I'm going to do, like, a retrospective essay on Arkham Knight at some point, and I have a lot of things to say about that.
Yeah, well, that's just like Harvey, huh? Wants to make sure the rules are followed. But in my experience, there's the law, and there's doing what's right. You understand? And I'd rather see Harvey actually help this city instead of just saying he will.
I understand more than you know.
Good. You look smart. You dress smart. Glad it adds up to something real. I ain't here to chinwag about politics, Mr. Wayne. Gives me indigestion. I got enough of that as is. So, let's talk relationship. Chalk this for me. Be a pal. I can get Harvey the mayor's seat, or I can pull it out from under him. Whatever happened to being a gracious host? Okay, imagine this is me. And these are all my friends in Gotham. The businesses, restaurants, clubs, docks, unions, politicians. If Harvey gets elected...
Yeah, I actually did like the Rat King reveal in Arkham Shadow. Not even gonna lie. I thought it was well done.
That's why I came here tonight.
It was actually like a lot smarter too than I think they got credit for. It really fit
one who
what
can
they were
help
doing.
Mr. Dent see the light, if need be. Between your businesses and mine, I bet we employ half the city. Now, we got a good thing going, so I don't see why we shouldn't team up. For Gotham, for our city. You listen to me, kid. I know somewhere inside that tuxedo you understand this situation. Money gets money. The risks, the alliances, the hidden costs. Your father knew which hands to shake. And which to break.
I think I'll have someone see you out.
Okay. Okay. So that's how it's gonna be. People don't say no to me. Not for long.
Master Bruce, your guests are leaving. I recommend seeing them out. You wouldn't want to be rude.
That's literally my playthrough,
Heed your
Alfred. Come
butler's
on.
advice,
I
kid.
do want to be rude.
Oh, and I'm no longer interested in buying the house. The owner's a prick. And he's gonna get what's coming to him.
It's me.
You know, for years I've listened to people tell me, like, how much it seemed like the Matt Reeves movies were inspired by this. And I initially was like, I mean, yeah, there's a few similarities, but now that I'm replaying it, I can really, like, I can see that. I can see that there perhaps was some inspiration taken for that movie. Like, it has a lot of the same characters, and a lot of the motivations are very similar. And even a lot of, like, the reveals and twists are kind of... Yeah, like, they have some similarities for sure.
Apparently, the bandits are using stolen GCPD battering rams to force their way in, with breaking and entering incidents up 40% over last year. Remember to keep those front doors locked tonight. And we have breaking news tonight. 5 criminals are in custody this evening after a break-in at City Hall. But thanks to the efforts of the Batman, the stolen items were returned.
Not all of them. Let's see what she was really after.
Allegations that Dent may have actually been involved in the break-in. Talk about dirty politics. Does Hill's campaign really think these accusations hold any water with the voters?
Nearly fell off a building for this?
To take down one of Gotham's most promising young politicians.
And in other news, we're now on day 3 of the factory fires that Villa and have given up trying to combat the blaze at the Otisburg Processing Center, owned by Ace Chemical. Still no word on what started the fire.
Let's find out what was so important.
Yeah, I'm not usually a fan of the, like, twist of, like, oh, his parents were actually corrupt. Like, I definitely prefer the stories where Bruce's parents were legitimately good people. But I do think on the rare occasion it can lead to interesting stories.
A basketball court and a movie theater. And yet I always find you here, in a dark, damp cave, in front of a computer.
It kills me to be a jerk to Alfred, but I'm committed to this playthrough.
If I skip cleaning the rest. The dusting is murder. Did you find out what that Catwoman tried to steal?
Well, in the process.
What are we looking at?
Let me try a different angle.
I heard a rumor that Alfred originally was not going to be in this series. And that they were just, like, not going to utilize him. But then they decided that, like, players would be upset if Alfred wasn't involved or something. I don't really remember the whole detail of the rumor, but...
This is a map of the East Side shoreline.
Yeah, I do think that Telltale handled it well, because in most stories, Bruce Wayne becomes Batman to sort of reignite the legacy that his parents left behind. Like, they were the real stand-up citizens of Gotham that made it a better place. And so that's his motivation. What I like about the twist in Telltale is that where it's a story where it's a branched narrative and you're making decisions, you kind of have to come up with your own reasoning for being Batman. So it's not just this easy answer. It's like you have to figure out what the greater good is. I think that was really a brilliant move. Again, I just remember, like, the story isn't as branched as they advertised. Like, they acted like, oh, it's a choose-your-own-adventure story, but it basically plays out the same.
I had everything under control.
Regardless of how you choose.
I've seen you take down worse thugs. But I'd already sewn you up once tonight, and I had no interest in a repeat performance. For the record, your father despised men like Falcone, thought they ruined Gotham's stellar reputation.
Back when it still had one?
It can again, Bruce. Though people like this Catwoman aren't helping. Is she new to town?
Never seen her before. Hopefully, she's just a tourist. I'll check the codex.
There we go. I'm trying to rush through this just a little bit. You know, they definitely are...
Found her.
And like 90 minutes to 2 hours per episode. But...
not much to find.
I feel like that's a good time to stream. Like, I don't really want to go over that tons. I get too tired and, like, dehydrated if I just keep going.
You could learn a thing or two from her. You can't step outside without it ending up in the news lately. As Bruce or Batman.
That's not the point. I want criminals to know I'm out there. Batman isn't hiding from anybody.
I was talking about Bruce. I don't mean to beat a dead argument, but...
No one's gonna figure it out now. Trust me.
Miss Vale noticed your injuries, so did Mr. Dent. If they put it together with the incident at the mayor's office, it would undo all the long nights and close calls we've endured to get here. You're in the spotlight more than ever.
I've had to cover for mysterious injuries before.
You've been lucky.
Or I'm just a really good liar.
A necessary evil in your line of work, I suppose. Though I hope you change careers someday. Old men worry, that's all. It's our gift and our curse. One more worry for the list.
There are a few moments that are a little weird where it, like, wants you to do it, like, some kind of input. Like, take the business card. I'm like, I don't really care. Like, just hand it to me.
Indeed. You two were thick as thieves. Oswald, however, took that role more literally than you.
Like, sincerely, my least favorite part of these games is when it asks you to, like, walk around and look at stuff. I think it's so stiff and clunky.
Prison stints?
That's a criminal grand slam, if I'm using the expression correctly.
Unfortunately, you are.
Oswald claimed he only wanted to catch up, but his behavior following his family's collapse is troubling. Why he's returning now, I haven't the faintest idea.
You think he's looking for a handout?
He would have come to the right person.
No, because I'm...
Because you're generous. A little too much sometimes, with your wealth, your time, and even your well-being. Even though you and young Master Cobblepot used to be close, I'd advise you to be cautious. But I know you can't abandon a good mystery until it's solved.
I'll be careful, Alfred.
When you see what's become of his park, I think you will.
Okay, these loading screens, I think they updated it. I think I have, like, the technically remastered version. I remember the loading screens used to be, like, forever. Like, you'd wait for, like, a solid 30 seconds to a minute for the next scene to load in. The frame rate seems better as well than I remember. So that's all good.
Where are you, Oz?
Okay, this is exactly what I was talking about. Like, you walk really slow, and I don't know. It just doesn't add enough to the game. It's like, I'd be fine if you just jumped into the next scene. I don't feel like I need, like, this element of the gameplay. It's not a huge part of it or anything, so I'm not trying to nitpick. It's just not my favorite.
There's the statue, but no Oz.
Watch wallet cash. But this goes through you. Hey, you heard it, man. The hell are you waiting for? Huh? You want me to cut it out of you? End him!
Gentlemen!
Oz.
Keep walking, all right? This don't concern you, twerp!
You see, that's where you're mistaken. My old mate and I have some catching up to do. And you're ruining the moment! Come here!
I'm trying to remember what the consensus on Penguin was in this series. Like, I'm trying to remember if people generally liked or disliked this portrayal. I think I remember people liking it. Penguin's one of those characters that for a long time I think it was like, how do you modernize him? And then you got like Arkham, Telltale, now the Batman, and I think we're back to a point where Penguin is kind of an A-list Batman villain. But for a minute it was like, You know, he's a guy with a monocle and a top hat walking around, like, squawking like a penguin. And then you try to think about that character walking around the Dark Knight trilogy, and it was like, how would that even work? But, yeah, they figured it out.
Yeah, good as new. Woo! That was a right little scrap, eh? Nothing kickstarts the system like a dash of adrenaline, eh?
Well, thanks for the backup.
I yanked you away from your bloody ivory tower, Bruce. Least I can do is make sure you don't get shanked.
Oh, that's very thoughtful of you.
Yeah, it's been what? 2 decades?
And you know what? I haven't been mugged once that entire time.
That wasn't why I brought you here, mate. Right now, I am trying to recognize the little Bruce I used to run around this place with. Back when it wasn't, you know, like this. This park used to mean something. A place that was safe for kids, for families. People came from all over to visit. Oh, Mum and Dad, they put so much work in here.
This place is a wreck. It's better off bulldozed.
This park still matters to me, Bruce. It's all my folks left behind.
I remember whenever I'd play this game back in like 2016, I'd always try to keep Penguin and Two-Face as sane as possible for as long as I could. And it doesn't do anything. You know, they go crazy kind of no matter what you do.
And did it yourself, you did. My family's fortune. There's nothing left, Bruce.
I know. Alfred told me.
It's funny, huh? Same place that ground my family to dust. Gave you the good life. Used to run in the same circles we did. Hobnobbing parties, round-the-world vacations, unlimited potential.
Well, that's just the way it goes sometimes. It's out of our control.
Dang, Troy Baker really, like...
You don't have to be a dick.
When you pick the rude options, he really changes the inflection in his voice. Mad respect for that. That is really impressive, actually.
Maybe I was wrong. Shouldn't have been a surprise when I saw you with Carmine Falcone. Made himself right at home. That oily...
Falcone was an uninvited guest. That's it. I never want to see his face again.
On that, we can agree in earnest. Falcone made a stack of cash and corpses a mile high, ruining families like mine. All he needs is a little push. And... it'd be a treat to watch him hit pavement. Sorry, mate. This reunion got a lot more grim than I planned. Things are gonna be on the upswing soon, though. A revolution is knocking on Gotham's door. And I'm here to let it in. Which brings me to you, Bruce. You see, you throw a rock in any direction, you break a window that Wayne Enterprises owns. As the rich and powerful go, oh, you top Gotham's list. But when my revolution starts, we're gonna smash windows and cross off names all the way down. Like I said, it's not gonna be pretty. It's gonna be beautiful.
Are you threatening me, Oz?
Take it as you like.
So that's a yes.
I've got great affection for you, Bruce. I really do. Which is why I'm warning you. When this whole thing starts, make sure you're on the right side. Good seeing you, Bruce, but I got some rocks to collect. Cheers.
I will say this first episode definitely is like the setup episode. So it's a little slower than I remember it being. But it's understandable. That's not a criticism. That's just an observation that, yeah, they have to spend some time setting up the various characters that will be in the season and like what their motivations are. I think my favorite episode of Batman the Telltale series is Season 2, Episode 1 with the Riddler. I think that one was just so well written. But we'll see. I mean, we'll get to it in, what, 6 weeks? If I do one a week, we'll get there in 6 weeks. And I'll be excited to see if I like it as much now as I did then.
This way.
Bruce!
Morning, Mr. Dent.
Hey, Bruce, you mind if we swap cars? I mean, mine isn't fast and the paint's rusting off, but boy, does she have charm. We didn't bring you all out here to discuss cars, honestly. Now, we're here about Arkham Asylum.
Yeah, I agree. So Season 2, I know a lot of people really like Season 2, and I appreciate how branched the narrative is in that game as opposed to this one.
Rehabilitation, crude. Its security, lacking.
But I will say that
but today,
I never felt like Harley in Season 2 quite matched the Riddler in terms of my interest.
On a state-of-the-art
like, Telltale Riddler was a peak Telltale Batman villain, and then Harley was an interesting spin on the character, but
Mr. Wayne has a few
I was just never quite as interested.
Bruce?
For those with mental health issues, there are no cuts or scrapes. Their ailments are often invisible, but inside...
So I agree with Joel that the Penguin has jumped back up to an A-list Batman villain after being like a T
9 years old,
or a B-tier villain for a long time.
A movie about a hero.
So, you know, thanks to Matt Reeves, thanks to this game, thanks to the Arkhamverse, Penguin is back up as like a very good Batman villain. And I'm just gonna I'm gonna say Mr. Freeze next, please. Can we get like some like, what a cool character who just gets so underutilized. Let's get Mr. Freeze back into that A tier as well.
Will provide. Let us honor their memory with this new facility, in the hope that a night like that never happens again.
Today, on the anniversary of that fateful night, we dedicate this facility to Thomas and Martha Wayne and usher in a new era of healing for Gotham.
I'm sure you all have plenty of questions about the new hospital, so let's open it up. You first, Miss Vale.
Thank you. With the opening of this new hospital, what does this mean for Arkham Asylum? What happens to the old building?
I think Arkham has only done harm to Gotham. It's made criminals more unstable, put our citizens in jeopardy. We can do better. All right, who's up next?
What was that?
You there?
Did it just skip?
Julia Remark of the Tribune. My
Some of
sources
the
say you
glitches
welcomed
in these
alleged
games,
mob
dude.
boss
They
Carmine
are just
Falcone into your
unreal.
home. You even spoke with him behind closed doors.
Oh, here we go.
Harvey is the one who invited him.
Bruce?
Personally, I would never welcome that man into my home. Anyone else have a question?
I'm not gonna lie, it feels more like a Batman fan fiction when you do the Renegade path. It's like not really stuff that Batman would usually do.
But Mr. Wayne, this morning the Globe received evidence of an offshore bank account managed by Carmine Falcone and your father, Thomas Wayne.
What exactly are you implying?
Transactions connected to organized crime going back years and continuing to this day. The paper trail ties your family directly to the mob. Care to comment?
I don't comment on rumors. Why don't we just stick to real journalism here?
Mr. Wayne, is all your money dirty?
Is the Wayne family legacy built on lies?
Did you know about this, Bruce?
How long has your family been dealing with Falcone?
Could the allegations be true?
What aren't you telling us?
Does the mob sign Wayne Enterprises paychecks?
Mr. Wayne!
How long has your family been dealing with Falcone?
I like how there's only like 10 people in attendance, but they do the voice acting as if there's like 300 people asking questions.
Where the hell it's coming from? Damage control's my territory. We'll talk later. Everyone, please settle down. I'll be fielding your questions from here on out. Please, let's try to keep this civilized.
Bruce, I've been trying to reach you. The police are inside the manor.
Okay, back in 2016, I think I remember even the first time I played this kind of thinking there would be some truth to this. I remember watching so many streamers be like, there's no way his family is actually connected to the mob.
Hey, careful!
And I remember thinking, it's a Telltale game.
back.
Of course it's
I'm
going to
afraid
be
we
the,
can't, Mr.
like,
Wayne.
subversive decision.
Says who?
This warrant. It's not personal. I had the boys turn the lights off, keep a low profile. Hopefully we can do our job and be out of here ASAP.
Alfred, keep an eye on them. Make sure they only take what they have to.
Of course, sir.
I meant what I said about not personal. We only want files related to Wayne Enterprises. The warrant covers your place, pardon me, places of residence, and any companies you own.
And if I refuse?
Well, then we might have to make a scene. That's the last thing I want. But orders are orders, and this one comes from the top. It's a valid warrant. I gotta serve it. Mayor Hill signed off on this himself. As long as he's mayor, he calls the shots.
Okay, so you just do whatever Mayor Hill says.
Hill and I, we have a vested interest to keep things professional. For Gotham's sake. Doesn't mean I like the words whistling through his windpipes. I don't know how your neck ended up on Mayor Hill's shopping block, but here we are.
Hill knows if I go down, Harvey's campaign goes down too.
That'd be a real shame. Mr. Dent's the only DA I ever trusted to make a conviction stick. As mayor, I think he can finally turn things around for us. For all our sakes, I pray you've got nothing to hide.
See, or like okay, like I was talking about earlier, some of the weird game mechanics of like, pick up the photo. It's like, it just feels kind of like a random interjection into like the cutscene. It's like, okay.
Bruce, stay back!
I'm nitpicking on purpose, by the way. This is a very good game.
Take whatever you want.
You don't have to do this.
I will say it's weird how many glitches I've experienced in a remastered game from 2016. It's not like this is an old game with really shaky, like, technical hardware it was running on. Like, this is... I don't know. I can see why some people were feeling turned off by Telltale games at this point. It's like a great story, but...
This is the second time you've shown up uninvited.
Yeah, it definitely feels a little out of date.
It's difficult to book a meeting with you.
Well, I enjoy my privacy.
Enjoyed. Past tense. Sorry, but if the press has their way, you're not going to have any for a while. Listen, Bruce. A scandal surrounding a beloved family like yours captures the public's attention. I can help you get the right kind of attention. Through my connections at the Gazette, I have all kinds of access. I can dig up whatever you need to fight this.
Stay out of this, Miss Vale. There are enough reporters eviscerating my family's legacy.
I want to restore their legacy. The Waynes are synonymous with Gotham. You deserve better treatment than this. The Gazette received this supposed evidence like every other media outlet, and it's all hearsay. Flimsy sources. There isn't a shred of hard proof.
Still, allegations like this, they don't magically appear. Someone is going after my family, after me.
Obviously, the sender didn't identify themselves. We have no idea who it could be. I mean, no one's even done their due diligence on this yet. The press saw the fumble, they grabbed the ball and ran. Not every day you get to go after a Wayne. By tonight, this scandal will be broadcast to every screen in Gotham. Everyone will be talking about it.
This isn't my first pass through the rumor mill. I know the damage it can do.
Then go on the record. Right here, right now, and stop it. You need to get out ahead of this. Your side is what matters, not wild speculation.
That's a...
Turn
I'm just
it
gonna say
off, Miss Vale.
Oh, but Bruce...
Until I know what's really going on, I am not speaking to the press again.
It's one of those things, like, I don't think that's the choice the game wants you to make, but in the real world, that would be the right choice. Like, I don't know what this is, so I'm not going to comment on it yet.
I hate to admit it, but everyone smells smoke. A fire is heading this way.
Batman has made plenty of enemies, but my family? We've done nothing but support Gotham, even in its darkest days.
All this on the anniversary of your parents'...
It's not a coincidence. Harvey's the district attorney. He should have told me this was coming.
Then find out why he didn't.
Yeah, I think it maybe would have been nice to put, like, another Batman sequence kind of in between those two scenes. Maybe right there.
Wait, does this have to do
like
with
I was
the
talking about the
report we're
pacing
talking about
earlier.
this
This is like
I'm in a lot of trouble, Harvey.
a
And I need
very
your
setup
help to get me
episode.
out of it.
Yes, of course. Of course, whatever I can do. Mayor Hill authorized this?
Yeah, then the cops raid my house, taking everything related to Wayne Enterprises. Computers, hard drives, files.
Oh, son of a bitch.
You're the goddamn DA, Harvey.
I didn't know about this. I swear. Hill totally blindsided me on this one. God damn it.
You owe me an explanation.
And I will get you one. Straight from Mayor Hill's mouth. I just don't get it. Why would Hill stick his neck out over this? Just to tangle you up in some frivolous investigation? It just doesn't make sense. I mean, what could he possibly hope to accomplish other than a few cheap headlines?
That is exactly what I intend to find out.
Easy, Bruce. Oh, God, what a mess. Bruce, I wish I could just make this go away, but I'm not sure if I can. If I get in the way of this investigation, Hill would be able to spin it as a conflict of interest. And that wouldn't be good for either of us. It would jeopardize the entire campaign.
Then I'll go it alone. I've got plenty of resources to fight this.
We're in a bind here, Bruce. I'll do whatever I can to help.
There you are.
Hey, you?
Sorry. I got a habit of being late.
No, just glad you made it.
You didn't tell me you were bringing a friend to dinner.
This is Selina.
I hope I'm not interrupting anything.
Just election nonsense.
I think we've met before.
You do look familiar.
Everyone knows who Bruce Wayne is.
Do they?
Pleasure to meet you, Miss...
Kyle. It's a strong grip you've got there. Don't worry. I'm not gonna fall.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Selina's new to town. I've been
You know,
showing
Troy
her
Baker
around
gets a
Gotham,
lot of
introducing
credit,
her.
and deservedly so. He does a great
You're an
job
excellent tour
voicing
guide.
characters in games.
Well,
But Laura
if we lose the
Bailey
election, I
also
guess I
is
can
very...
drive one of those double-decker tour buses
like, she
around
does a great
town.
job playing up a
Did you get that
huge
shiner?
variety of characters.
Bruce?
It's okay. Money doesn't buy manners, right?
Like, I appreciate that her Selena Kyle doesn't sound exactly
I
like
was
Mary
mugged.
Jane.
I'm just angry I let that masked freak get away with all my stuff.
I still can't believe I let you walk home alone.
Did you at least get a look at the guy?
Good enough to make an ID.
I'll get Gordon down to GCPD to work on a lineup. It's probably long gone by now, whatever that idiot took.
I hope not. These were important materials.
Ooh, sensitive?
Very. I don't know how I'm gonna explain this to my client. When things like this happen in my line of work, people tend to overreact.
We should just be thankful you got away with a black eye.
So, what do you do for a living?
It's complicated. High risk, high reward.
Ah, stock market, huh?
Something like that. At least I'm not the only one who's taken a beating. That press conference? Oof.
We've got it under control.
Do you?
I'll handle it. Someone at my office has to know what's going on. Excuse me a moment. Hey, it's Harvey.
These are some of my favorite dynamics in not only this game, but kind of in any Telltale game, where you have these characters that they kind of give the illusion that they have agency as well. Obviously, it's a game, so they don't really.
Nice to meet the real
but
you.
I like this idea of the tension of, like, is Selena going to reveal your identity to someone? Like, you don't really know, and I really think that builds some good tension.
Right. This explains a lot, actually. How you can afford the fancy armor, the toys. Wouldn't Harvey be surprised? Not to mention, everyone in this cafe.
Sorry about the black eye.
It's not the first time a man's hit me.
Sorry to hear that.
Don't worry. I'm not gonna expose you. Yet. I'm curious about something, though. I do what I do for money, but you're Bruce Wayne. What's your excuse? I have to. But you... why take the risk?
I don't need one. I do this because I can.
And I thought you were on some noble crusade against crime. Silly me. You have something that belongs to me. I want it back. This is awkward for me.
As I recall, you took something from me, too. Hope you're getting some use out of that grappling gun.
I'm more interested in how I can use you. These people I'm working for, they don't screw around. If I fail to deliver that drive, it's gonna cost a lot more than money.
Well, looks like you've made your bed.
No, we've made this bed, and I'm not gonna lie in it alone. You owe me. If they don't get what they want, there will be consequences.
I don't owe you anything. As far as I'm concerned, you're on your own.
Huh. I was hoping we could work together.
Sorry. I'm a solo act.
Listen, I don't have a lot of time. My employer is expecting me to drop it off.
Where?
Just give it back.
The address, now.
No. Give me the drive.
You are really starting to piss me off.
Oh, there you are. I was hoping you'd come out and play.
Write it down. Now.
My contact. He'll be expecting a cat, not a bat.
When are you supposed to meet him?
15 minutes ago. Better hurry.
Everything okay here?
You tell me.
Okay, maybe it's just me, but it definitely seems like there's certain choices or behaviors the game wants you to make. Because sometimes, like, you'll be going down a branched dialogue, and then it will jump back to just the general cutscene that plays no matter what you choose. And sometimes the tone of that is very different. Like, we were going down this road of me being really intimidating and interrogating her, and then it goes back to, like, kind of playful and flirty banter. Like, I don't know. It just tonally feels a little off. But I will say, what I really like about this game is that it kind of accomplishes what the Arkham games weren't able to do and make Bruce Wayne feel like a really three-dimensional character even when he's not Batman, which I appreciate.
Alfred, I'm at the warehouse.
Honestly, even more than the Arkham games, I'm bummed out that we didn't get more of like a sidekick in this game. I think it would have been really cool to introduce Dick Grayson or Barbara Gordon and... you know, I know that they did a little bit with Tiffany Fox in Season 2, but this would have been the perfect story to incorporate, like, a Robin into. And your choices could have influenced his safety, and, yeah, there's some really cool things they could have done there. Oh, we're to my least favorite part, where you have to solve the crime with their clunky walking around system.
It was a massacre.
How many?
Nothing in this game is that bad. Again, I'm being kind of a renegade.
Good Lord. Look could have done such
both
a
in
thing?
playthrough, but also in my commentary.
That's what I'm gonna find out. Gordon, East Side Docks, Warehouse 133.
I just personally find this whole sequence like very clunky and just not that interesting.
Nothing left to bury.
Not narratively, but just like from the gameplay perspective. Like, it's not very interesting to solve cases in the game.
Analyzing. It's a volatile chemical. Potential psychoactive nerve agent. Vile stuff.
Be very, very careful with that. Who knows what effects it may have.
Have the computer catalog the compound for further analysis.
As you wish.
Whatever exploded did so with enough force to obliterate the person standing next to it. But the chemicals themselves were inert, non-explosive.
Well, it appears to have made a pretty big boom.
I'll see what I can piece back together. The canister exploded, sending shrapnel right through the container door.
For once, I'm glad you arrived after the heist. Your armor wouldn't have protected you against that.
Okay, actually, this kind of reminds me of this of like the
looks like a bullet
Spider-Man
stuck in this.
PS4 missions where you have to play as MJ or Miles before he gets his powers.
You're normal.
Like, that's kind of what this
Bullet
reminds me of.
entry,
It's just like not that fun, but they shoehorn it in a bunch, and I appreciate them trying to add some variety to the gameplay.
I've seen these outfits before. Same.
It's just
mercs
not
that broke
quite
into
fun
City
enough
Hall.
to really justify its place in the game.
White Rose. Falcone's calling card.
He's been busy as of late.
Send the drones hunting. I want to know his every move.
Good thinking, sir. That bad?
Face slashed. Throat torn open.
So, not natural causes then.
Skylight Club. This man's been badly burned. The damage seems to originate from inside his skull. What did this? Sensors say it's an incendiary round. Phosphorus residue. This could have superheated the contents of the canister.
Causing the aforementioned boom.
Blood. Broken nails. Bits of human flesh. A cop shredded this merc to pieces. Barehanded.
God, what would cause someone to do that?
The nerve agent could make them psychotic. Don't think so. No proof.
We gotta find what it hit then.
Something was here when the explosion occurred.
Oh, I have to break the link before I can select anything else.
Someone drove off after the explosion.
Find a connection.
The bullet that killed the cop is the same type that blew up the canister.
I'm sure they didn't find that at a local gun store.
It appears military.
Have you put it together?
Yes. Falcone leaving his rose here. This is a message. Dead cops, stolen chemicals. He's making a big move. One of his snipers hit a canister with an incendiary bullet, causing it to superheat and explode. This may have been a distraction or a way of destroying evidence. Cops moved in to stop the theft. Falcone's men gunned him down. Then things turned grim. Possibly due to the psychoactive nerve agent. A cop ripped up a merc's face with his bare hands. And was put down. Same sniper, same type of bullet. Looks like Falcone's men got what they wanted and escaped.
Have you located the shooter?
No, but based on two impact trajectories, the canister and the dead cop, the shooter could only have a clear shot from there, or there, and would have contaminated himself with the phosphorus residue. Program the skimmers to pick up that signature.
Right away, sir.
I think it's this one. I'm gonna be kind of impressed if I remember from like 2016 or 2017 or whatever which one was the right area. For some reason, I think it was this one. Oh yeah.
Phosphorus spike. Clear vantage point. We have a winner. This is the right spot. So where did he go? Trace stops here.
Then he should be nearby.
Found him.
Time to go to work.
I'm not a fan of how short the era was where we got like Batman with a digitized voice.
Corpse to this graveyard.
It was such a cool idea.
Why did he do this?
I ain't telling you nothing. You can't make me talk.
We're gonna beat this guy up so fast.
I ain't telling you, Jack. You trying to scare a confession out of me? I won't break.
Your bones will.
It's true what they said about you. You're a freaking animal. ain't afraid of you.
You know you can bleed to death without ever spilling a drop. All on the inside. Tell me the plan, or I start swinging. Tell me!
The Catwoman was supposed to hand over a drive. Had the container number we needed, but she flaked. So we had to find it ourselves. Container by container. Someone must have heard us. Called the cops. We were told no witnesses.
Why risk open war with the GCPD?
Some kind of chemicals. Falcone wanted them.
What are the chemicals for?
We were paid to steal them, not ask questions.
I start here and keep breaking until you answer.
The chemicals! There's some kind of explosive! A weapon! I don't know! Falcone said he'd use them soon.
Used where?
That's all I know! I swear! I swear! I told...
You'll never hold a gun steady again.
Oh, God.
Jesus Christ. These are cops. Get an ambulance in here!
Think I need to call the coroner instead. I was wrong. Gonna need that ambulance, too. The hell's going on tonight, Lieutenant?
That man.
You're taking this too far, Bruce. You assume the persona of a bat, but you're not an animal. You nearly killed a man tonight. Your parents didn't raise you this way. And neither did I. I see.
Sorry, I know I don't have much commentary going on right now. Hopefully, as I keep doing these every week, we'll get more people in the chat and we can have more conversations.
Attack on your family. You must show the world the true.
I'm also fine to just sit and play the game.
Giving everything to the city and then being murdered for it?
My thoughts exactly. Every time you leave this cave. You're a good man, Bruce. Good. Just like your parents. Don't lose that. I don't mean to be a doddering old fool on the subject, but as a friend, the burden of advice falls on me.
Sometimes this job requires hard decisions.
You're the right man to make them. In fact, I think you're the only one who can. You bury the person, Bruce, but you never bury the memory.
Sometimes I wish I could. That night, that alleyway, it made me who I am. I can't get it out of my head.
That is your gift and your curse.
We have probably 15 to 20 minutes left of this episode, and then I'll give a quick review of it at the very end, and then...
or drown you in its sorrow. When you doubt your fate...
I am planning on doing this every week, so feel free to tune in every Friday. I start at 1 p.m. Pacific time.
I won't forget.
Neither will I. Well, back into the fray again.
Well, looks like that egg finally cracked. And inside, Mayor Hill was hiding more than I could have imagined. This is a complete manifest of Carmine Falcone's criminal organization.
What in the world was Hill doing with all this? Illegal arms dealing, drug running, mob hits, money laundering? Falcone's been involved in everything. And it goes back years.
I like how sometimes when you pick the silent option, it like has a cool intimidation, or like it really speaks with the silence, and other times you just get like kind of an awkward, clunky break in dialogue. It just kind of depends.
Where would we possibly begin to dismantle it?
This is a police matter.
There's only one cop we can trust to handle this evidence correctly.
Lieutenant Gordon. He could mobilize the entire police force against Falcone.
What about that reporter from the Gazette?
Vicky.
Yes, Miss Vale. She could release this evidence through proper channels. I suppose it comes down to who you want to help most. Or who you think could do the most good.
The cops are on the front lines of this war. Gordon needs this more than anyone.
A wise decision, sir. We'll attack Falcone on two fronts tonight. Gordon through the police, and Batman...
by any means necessary. Whatever Falcone is planning, it ends tonight.
He's a spider, Bruce. Eyes everywhere. A dense web of goons poised to trap you. No one has ever managed to bring him down.
I haven't tried yet.
This is a silver bullet. And it's gonna put Falcone down once and for all. I don't even want to know where you got this.
No, you don't.
Still, I gotta know one thing. Why give this to me? Don't get me wrong. I appreciate the hell out of this. Everyone on the force will too.
I'm a businessman. I build relationships. And it doesn't hurt to have one with the GCPD.
If you wanted to attend one of my famous barbecues, all you had to do was ask. But this grants you an invitation for life. You know, as much as I appreciate you calling me here, I gotta make one thing crystal. I can't be bought. So you should know this isn't gonna change a thing about the investigation of your family. The Waynes always supported the Gotham police.
There are no strings attached. I just want Falcone gone.
You and me both. I'm tired of staring at his mugshot. I gotta go. Came straight from a crime scene. Haven't been home yet. Sometimes I think this whole city's a crime scene. We're just walking through it.
What you're holding will make walking it much safer.
Thanks, Bruce.
Well, Lieutenant?
Hey, stick to Jim.
That was a cool character building moment. In situations in the past, I've taken the information to Vicky Vale instead. So I don't know that I've seen that scene. That was actually really well written. I like how free of corruption Jim is in this continuity, too. I don't think I realized 10 years ago, or 9 years ago, I guess, like how corrupt Harvey kind of is in this continuity. Like doing deals with Falcone and everything, but yeah, no, Jim's like a straight shooter in this one. Again, some of the glitches in this game are like kind of egregious, especially for a game that isn't very technically demanding, and a game that was releasing on like the Xbox One and PS4 era. Like it's...
The drone's cameras and scanning tech are fully functional.
I think Telltale could have stuck around quite a bit longer if they'd evolved their gameplay loop and some of these technical problems a little bit more.
Good point of entry.
I'd also like to say, I think that it's really cool how they did the release cycle. Like, I actually appreciate that this wasn't just something that released all at once. I like playing it in increments.
Aren't they the same thing?
Only one of them is organized.
Ooh, you're cute.
So, are you alone?
Not anymore, Assad.
Yeah, me too, Joel. Like, this is the first playthrough where I'm actually like, dang, he's actually kind of a corrupt guy in this universe. Because normally he is, like, very squeaky clean in various shows and movies until he gets his Two-Face persona.
You and me both.
But here he is kind of doing stuff that I don't agree with. I remember, like, more than even some of the Arkham games, like, while this series was releasing, I remember the community being very invested. Like, we'd all play episodes right when they came out and discuss it for like a month, and then you'd get another episode. It was kind of a fun time. Again, I don't know if that works in like the AAA space. The only AAA equivalent to that is like a live service game where you release content periodically, but it was kind of cool to get a game where you had just a little piece come out every month. It like definitely improved the staying power.
That's the most heavily guarded door in the building.
Gotta be Falcone's hideout.
Well, it won't be as easy as ringing the doorbell.
4 armed guards. Stealth not an option. I'll put together a plan of attack. Stand by. Couple of options for taking this guy down.
Yeah, I remember I was working... So when this game was coming out, I was working at like a locally owned barbecue joint just at the front desk, and I remember always just being so excited because it, like, almost every episode would release on a work night for me. And I'm trying to remember, I think they came out on like Tuesdays. And so I would like constantly end up staying way too, like, I'd stay up way too late on school nights in order to play the new episodes. It was very, very hype. But then I'd like be on Twitter all day the next day at school, just like talking about it. Needless to say, my grades were not very good, but it's worked out for me. I'm doing okay. Good grades are not everything, no matter how many people try to tell you they are. They are important. Like, you should try to get them, but if you don't, it's okay. I've survived. This was a cool concept where you get to like plan out how you're going to attack all the enemies. It's definitely not like quite fast-paced enough for my liking, but I think they improved it quite a bit in Season 2, where you got to do it more on the fly.
This one might be tricky. Any ideas?
I've got it covered, Al.
Yeah, no, I do remember. In the Enemy Within, you get to, like, pick... You get to pick, like, am I going to roundhouse kick this guy or, like, push him through the wall? Like, but you get to do it in the moment. So it's like you get two options for the quick time event. That was a better version, but it's cool to see kind of where that idea originated, and this feels kind of like a rough draft for that system later on. Enemy Within was definitely like an improvement from a gameplay perspective, but I also think it was a bit too little too late to compete with some of the AAA stuff that was coming out. He's not dead, you guys. He has some severe head trauma, but he's okay. Also, as we play through this series, I mean, it's a lot of streams. It's going to be like 10 weeks, right? But feel free to let me know, like, in the comments or the chat, like, what you'd like to see me play next. We could do, like, we could play through some of the Arkham games. We could do Injustice. We could play another series like Tomb Raider, Mass Effect. Like, I'd be down to do different things. In June, I want to celebrate the Arkham Knight anniversary. It's turning 10 years old, and I want to do a ton of Arkham content. So, expect, like, daily uploads in June and multiple streams a week. We're gonna have a party.
I want God. The hell? Oh. How about this one? You can't sneak up on me.
EMP armed.
I remember thinking it was so cool that we got to see a take on Carmine Falcone in a Batman game, because the Arkham games had excluded him. And he was one of the weirder exclusions, because we'd had 4 Arkham games and did not include Carmine Falcone in even one of them.
Get your goddamn hands off of my...
He's been in Arkham Shadow, and I thought that was actually a really cool take on the character, too.
Stay down, Falcone. We can end this now.
You got a lot to learn, kid.
But it was definitely a good idea to include a villain that they could make their own without having to compete with an Arkhamverse iteration.
Explosives armed. Fire when ready.
Falcone was actually one of my favorite parts of Arkham Shadow. Like, long overdue appearance in the Arkhamverse, and they did not disappoint. I really liked the characterization of him in that game. Okay, we're good. We're the brutal Batman this time.
Answers, now, or you fall.
You wouldn't have... All right.
The chemicals. Where are they?
What?
I found your calling card at the docks. The White Rose.
You think I wanted to lead you here? Yeah, something reeks about this whole thing. And it ain't a dead bat.
Still want to play games?
We're all being played here, including you. Those chemicals you're so riled up about, they're mine, all right? But someone is trying to cut me out of the deal because I did not make that mess at the docks.
Then who did?
No, we're done. Gotham's watching now. Go ahead. Give him a show. I'll be walking free by tomorrow morning. Ha! Oh, wait, what the hell are you?
I do love the genuine terror in his voice when he realizes that you are...
Spill it, Falcone, while you still can.
It's... the Waynes. They're behind all this.
What are you
I also really appreciate that they recorded multiple takes of this
really want to take that
based on what you did. Like, he's not in that much pain vocally if you make the other choice. That's...
the Waynes.
That's commitment to
are the biggest gangsters
showing the consequence of the choice you made. Okay, the one thing I do wish they did was...
God.
I wish there was a bit more evidence. Because I remember after completing this, like, I believed that they were corrupt, but there were a lot of people who didn't. They were like, oh, he's lying. And I think it could have been...
smoke could reportedly be seen from street level.
I don't know. I think having some real proof or evidence that they were corrupt would have made that scene hit harder.
Was the arena for a clash between the notorious Batman and alleged mob boss Carmine Falcone, who was brutally wounded in the attack. Oh! Though I'd say the crime boss getting his is well overdue, Falcone has slipped through the law's grasp for years. But after this dramatic arrest and evidence released by the GCPD's Lieutenant Gordon, Falcone's going away for a long, long time. And speaking of newly uncovered criminal dealings, this brings me to the story everyone is talking about. The Wayne family. For generations, the big W on the Wayne Enterprises tower was a reassuring sight. You knew that there was something pure at the heart of Gotham. That this city, for all its faults, was built by good people.
That was a cool callback to Arkham Asylum, that opening shot of the Batmobile.
Reputation called into question. We no longer have such assurances. And even worse, it seems the apple hasn't fallen far from the tree. Gotham's greatest son, Bruce Wayne, seen here in the company of gangsters, may be just as
I hate how they imply like that it's like, look at him meeting with Falcone. It's like, dude, it's clearly a hostile meeting. Like, I'm not shaking his hand. That's kind of what I mean. Sometimes there's just the illusion of choice. It's like, you can choose to shake his hand or not, but then like they don't really change the outcome of that. It's like, either way, you met with a criminal. It's like, it wasn't my choice to. Harvey brought him.
Is that the Wayne's time in the sun is ending.
The suit, the car, this entire cave.
Master Bruce?
Everything I built! I created all of this because I didn't want any more innocent people to die! If Falcone's telling the truth about my parents, then what the hell did we do this for?
Bruce,
What have you been hiding from me? Alfred!
Okay, actually, I'm gonna retract what I said about there needing to be more proof. I feel like Alfred's reaction sells it. Okay, there we have episode 1, Realm of Shadows. Okay, so quick, like, 1 to 2 minute review. Oh, and first we can also see how unpopular my choices were. It's kind of unfortunate that it does play out so similar, despite the fact that I did make such different choices. Like, I wish that the branched narrative was a little bit more, like, I wish there was a bit more, variety in how it played out, or how it ended. Anyway. Before we hit next time on, I would give Realm of Shadows an 8 out of 10. I think narratively it is incredibly tight. I think it's super good, really good setup, ends with a cool twist that really changes the mythology of Batman and forces you to have to think through why you would want to be Batman if, you know, your parents, which are generally the reason that you're choosing to be Batman, turn out to be corrupt, and their crusade was not really as squeaky clean as they let on. So I thought that was all cool. I thought the voice acting was great. Character designs are all great. There are moments where the choice system really feels unique and interesting. There's other moments where, unfortunately, it feels a little bit like the game is trying to force you to make specific choices, and so the game doesn't really account for the choice you made. But most of my issues are nitpicks. I didn't love the detective sequence where you have to go around and, like, chain things together, you know, and you're walking around super stiffly. I thought that was pretty clunky. And kind of my biggest problems, like, let's say my biggest 3 problems with this episode. I'd say first, the pacing can feel a little bit off. I understand that this was an episode that had a lot to set up, but it can feel a little bit slower than I think it needed to. I'd also say the glitches were a little bit bizarre, because this isn't a technically demanding game, and so to have music or voice acting that would just randomly cut out, or to have certain meshes just not appear in cutscenes was a little bit bizarre. Nothing game-breaking or overly problematic, but anytime that happened, it did take me out of the moment a little bit. And then also just kind of what I've already said about how sometimes the choice system doesn't really feel as branched as, you know, it's more of an illusion of choice than actual choices you're making. My 3 favorite things, though, about this were the story, really compelling and interesting, if not sometimes a little bit too slow-paced. I thought that the set pieces and fight choreography looked great, and with the cinematography, the way that they looked in-game, it held up a lot better than I was expecting. And then I'd also say just the characters that they chose in general, having Falcone, having Penguin, having Harvey Dent, like, it weaves this interesting web, and I've got to say, I'm feeling nostalgic. I'm excited to play through episodes 2, 3, 4, and 5 of this season, and then jump into season 2. So I hope to see some of you guys next time. We'll watch the next time on, and then I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. If you guys enjoyed, feel free to like and subscribe if you haven't already. In the future, feel free to retweet or share when I go live, and let's see if we can get more people in here and have more discussions about Batman, Telltale, and other topics that you guys want to discuss. So thank you guys all so much for joining in. We'll watch next time on, and then I'm going to go ahead and end the stream, and we'll see you guys next week.
When your parents died, they left me as caretaker of their estate, their son, and their secrets. I would never betray them. Your parents were good people, Bruce, no matter what that thug Falcone told you.
Then swear to me there's no truth to it.
Thank you so much for tuning in, Joel. Great chatting with you.
Falcone held up. Maybe I missed
One more thing I'll say, if there's a time or day during the week that works better for everyone, let me know. This is just a time that I'm free, but I could make another time work if it would work better for everyone else.
Hell of a view.
Bruce, the Wayne name is toxic. I have to do what's best for my campaign. What's best for Gotham.
I also love how many shots they have in this next time on that don't actually show up in episode 2. Or like next time on.
I will find the truth. Along with anyone who stands in my way.
Alright, there we have it. Thanks, you guys. We'll see you all in the next one.